Hi there. I'm making progress in learning Procreate. What I did is I've got some shots that I had as reference shots that since I've been here by myself, I've been taking a lot of reference shots for facial expressions. So I did a drawing and was checking the reference shot against that. Had an idea, a concept that I was working on. So I checked the reference shot and I started laying in shapes and shades and values. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a pointy ear going on. This is an elf. I call it a self-portrait of sorts, but I obviously don't look like that. Anyway, the reference shot is not being followed strictly. It's just to get the planes of the face correct and the pose. So I was really pleased with the way that this was coming along, and the lighting I got dramatic enough that I was happy with it. And so I proceeded to lay in the hair. And using the reference photo again, just for general idea of what the streaks in the hair might look like. Then I darkened the background and decided to put some color on her clothing. And at this point, I was also working on tidying up the area around the hair and the ears. Working in a lot of color in the face. There were some areas that were too light around the mouth. And I did a lot of work that is kind of hard to follow that was up around the nose, the bridge of the nose, and the line of the nose against the face. And then I thought I needed to put some decoration on the clothes, silver thread. Then I decided to lay in another layer and play with light. Wanted to make the light more dramatic and darken the background. And from there, I just proceeded to clean things up and touch up some details. I was thinking about doing some kind of effects over on the right, but I really want to put another figure eventually in the scene. So I just continued to work on the details, and I was having some problems for some reason or other, and I think my battery on my iPad was low, and so there was something happening when I was working on the eyebrow. The colors weren't working like I thought they would. The brushes were fine, the colors that I was picking were fine, but I finally worked that out. It took me a good amount of time, a lot of little fiddly details. But I did. I finally got her like I wanted her, and this is the end result. I'm really happy with that, and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And that will be to lay another figure in and expand the scene out so she's actually looking at someone or something. I thought about this for quite a while, so I went in and decided to lay in a figure that I had created from a little bit of an abstract drawing. Kind of a dragon, a different style, but for some reason or other they spoke to me a little bit. One of the problems I had was the lady looked way too calm. So I tried to adjust that. I went in and moved the face around a little bit using the selection tool and then knitted it back together. Not quite happy with the look on her face, but at least she doesn't look like she's leaning over and about to tell him that there's no smoking in here. I think that the feedback that I got in this, that if I want her to look a little scared, I needed to change it. But I'm not really sure at this point whether I want her to be afraid or if this is a buddy of hers. Really haven't worked out that concept in my mind. And one of the things that I get caught up in really often is I will go in and I'll do a sketch and then I'll start rendering it in really smooth and realistic, and it's one of the things. I have a couple of stylistic traps that I fall into, and one of them is over rendering and overworking everything and making it too perfect too early. So that's something that I've successfully worked on. The self-portrait that I did when I started using Procreate was one example. I felt like that was really successful, and it's really loose and more abstracted and it's more expressive. And this really is not that expressive yet. Conceptually, it's just a small seed. Yeah, it's just a crowded scene. It's too rendered. So I started over. With the file, I layered over and I started sketching, trying to be free and working in values and gestures instead. So a few of the things that I came up with, this was kind of a straight, just going through different compositions and erasing, frankly, a couple of layers that didn't work. Just kind of really loosely putting the gestures together. I really liked the dragon in this particular sketch, and I think I might go back to this pose because I think what I'm doing is I'm beginning to understand the relationship between these two characters. Is she afraid of him? And you notice I put a gulf with water between them. That kind of made sense, but I don't really think that's the point of this drawing. It's something different. There's a relationship between the two characters that I haven't quite worked out yet. So here I'm trying to set the mood and put it, just lay in values and what I kind of see, because I want to have a dramatic light in it. There's a light coming from behind the dragon, and now I'm working in a few details just to kind of catch the expression. So that was working tiny. That's one of the limitations I've found with working with the iPad. If you have a drawing that's supposed to be a large space, you have these teeny weeny little features that you're trying to draw. So here I am just throwing in gestures for the fingers and her face, and I kind of like the look on her face, but at the same time I'm not really sure. And I've gone in and just made some adjustments, kind of playing with what will work, what might work. And now I made the plane that they're on the same level, or just about the same level. So this is more of a, oh, you're here, oh, it's you, and I'm not really sure what. So anyway, I started putting in some details. Of course, I started working in details that I didn't really need at this point, and so I found myself back in that little trap, working too much on the details. So I started over, just made another layer and started doing some gestures on top, see what works, play with that, get some values in there, throw it together. And I really liked, I was working with Cynix's, I think it's the dry brush tool, and just one color, and some of the gestures that were happening with the hands were really interesting. The figure is not proportional. Right now it's small, and I actually like this figure. This is more of a child shape figure, which was an interesting thing that came out of it. So then I started playing with the dragon. Let's just play, okay, I'm a dragon. What does a dragon look like? What is this dragon really in this shot for? And so then I tried to make the figure a bit more adult. size and adult proportioned. Again, playing with the gesture, the hands, the face, working in a little bit of the values of the shadows and the light, and I'm getting interested in what's going on here. I'm liking the way that she is posed, but that makes the dragon. What is the dragon? So I played with the dragons using some kind of abstract brushes and just played with, okay, what does this dragon look like? Is he angry? Is he mean? Is he evil? Is he... what is he? So I played with a bunch of ideas, and yeah, that's not working. So I am by no means finished with this yet, but it was really fun to go through. I know the lady and the dragon is really a trope, and I've seen quite a lot of similar themes on the boards that I'm looking at, but I'm going to see where I can take it. It's a good thing for me to play with. It gives me the opportunity to work with composition and values and play. So that's good. We'll see what happens. Hope you tune in next time. Bye.